All right, everybody. Sorry about that. I just had to pause my other screen because I'm currently watching this on YouTube too, just so I can see the comments and the super chats and stuff, which is sometimes hard to do. That's why a lot of people go for like multiple monitors. So I'll wait for some people to jump on in here. Then I'm going to take a look at some of the new stocks, MTGStocks. A lot of cool cards. And there's also some spoilers I want to go over first. So I'll wait for more people to show up. Whoops. I kicked myself out because the thing about StreamYards is that you have to be careful of refreshing the page that you're on, or else it'll just kick you out of your own live stream. It won't stop the live stream, but it will boot you out. So I can kick myself out right now if I wanted to, like that. Now I'm here, and then I'm back again. So it's really nice though, because if you are having a problem, your stream won't end because it's not on your computer, it's on StreamYard. So if your computer crashes, if you're having problems with your computer, you can then just go on your phone and then join the actual stream. It'll still be going on, which isn't the case with a lot of other live streams. Here we have Xavier. I made it. Yes, you did. How many people we got? We got 7 people watching. All right, well, I'll just go over and look at some of the spoilers just for fun. All right, let's see. How does this look on the screen? I should just full screen this. This is magicspoiler.com. I don't quite like it as much as Mythic Spoiler, but the one advantage with this is that it's not all done in order of the color. So if it's a new card, if it's just being announced or spoiled, it'll show up first. So as you can see, there's some newer cards we didn't see yesterday. If we go down here, we can start to see some of these cards. What we have here, we have a whale. So we have Pursued Whale. Let's see what this card does. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent creates a 1/1 red pirate creature token. With this creature cannot block, and creatures you control must attack each combat if able. Spells your opponents cast that target cost 3 more to cast. For 7 mana, if you're going for like a whale or what is it, a kraken, leviathan, whatever strategy that is, I guess big creatures would be good in that. But ultimately, though, I mean, I see a lot of blue cards that make it harder to target. Got another rare here. We have Joel Rael, Muan Monvelu, Recluse. Again, a lot of words. I've said this all the time on my channel. Like Wizards of the Coast, they just make up ridiculous names that are impossible to pronounce right the first time. So what does she do? Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 2/2 green cat creature token. She has an activated ability of 6 mana until the end of turn. Creatures you control have power and toughness XX, where X is the number of cards in your hand. So it's like a little mini overrun. Doesn't appear to give any abilities, just a lot of toughness, which definitely puts her behind, I would say, Craterhoof Behemoth. But 2 mana legendary creature that could be a somewhat solid mono green commander. That's not too bad. I mean, it's not impossible to draw your second card with green. Maybe not the easiest, though. What else do we have here? We have another foreign card. We have Stormwing's Presence. This spell costs 3 mana less to cast if you have cast an instant or sorcery this turn. Just flying with prowess, and when it enters the battlefield, scry 2. Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is something you look for in limited. Nothing really impressive for Commander, though. Looks like we have maybe some reprints there. We got another foreign card, it appears. Looks like a big burn spell, maybe 12 mana. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total power of the creature you control, of the creatures you control, so all of them. Volcanic Salvo deals 6 damage to up to 2 creatures and or planeswalkers of your choice. Um, I guess so. If you can get that down to 2 mana, it's still not super impressive though. Like burn sorceries. I mean, there's a reason why you don't see a lot of people play Lightning Bolt. And while this is potentially better than Lightning Bolt, it's still like one-time use to get 6 damage on 2 targets. It's not super impressive to me. Let's see how many people showed up. Cranked EDH. I recognize you, buddy. I remember a lot of names. It's been a while. Mythic Spoiler has the same option, a list sorted by the latest spoilers if you select the newest spoilers. Yeah, I'm kind of lazy though. It's I don't know. I guess I just like showing love to other websites too. Yep. Heroic Intervention is back. Definitely one of the better green sorceries if you're looking for extra utility. We need a variety. So let's see other cards. We have Idol of Endurance, 3 mana white artifact. It doesn't have the text there, so I'll just read it. When Idol of Endurance enters the battlefield, exile all creature cards with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard until Idol of Endurance leaves the battlefield. You can pay 2 mana and tap it. Until end of turn, you may cast a creature spell from among the cards exiled with Idol of Endurance without paying its mana cost. So I guess it's an interesting way to get some cards back, but you're paying 2 mana at best to cast something that's 3 mana. It's just cost reduction at that point. I think obviously there's a lot better ways to bring back small creatures. We have Revilark. You can abuse the hell out of that. Obviously, a Sun Titan, Karmic Guide. If it's not better than those, which I don't think it is, it's probably not going to see that much play. It's just not as easy to abuse because it exiles the cards. Well, I guess not because yeah, it's until it leaves the battlefield. I don't know. It's not something I would personally look for. If you're going for recursion or bringing creatures back from the graveyard in white, there's a lot better. We also get the return of the Scrylands. These were also in, I believe, M20 or M19. So they are making a comeback, and yeah, they're pretty much worthless now. They don't really cost that much. I think there was a point way back in obviously Theros Standard when they're the only dual lands. They were worth, I don't know, $5 to $10 a piece. So they were at least easy to trade. We do get Heroic Intervention. Yeah, Heroic Intervention. If I can talk today. Pretty good card if you don't know what it does already. 2 mana green instant. Permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. It's one of those one-time cards that it's so easy to bring back with an Eternal Witness in green, so you don't have to worry about like with one-time uses in colors like white. So you're able to abuse something like this. You can protect your whole board with the exception of sacrifice removal, with the exception of, and by sacrifice removal, I mean stuff like Grave Pact, Dictate of Erebos, that kind of stuff. You're still going to get punished by that, with the exception of also exiling removal, mass exiling removal. So I mean, those two things don't happen that often. So for the most part, in combat, targeted removal, board wipes, you're good to go. This is another pretty big reprint. We have Fabled Passage. Basically, this and I'm blanking on the other card that came out in was it Modern Masters? No, Modern Horizons. It's that other land, you just sack it, and you get to search for any basic land card and you put it into play untapped. Or is it untapped? I don't know. I've been out for like 5 months. So yeah, it takes the basic land. It pretty much takes any basic land card. Okay, this one is a little bit different. I'm thinking that it's exactly the same. No, if you control four or more lands, you untap that land. So there is a condition. Uh, so it is better than just an Evolving Wilds. And definitely one I think went up quite a bit because a lot of people love these cards for Commander. We got another reprint. We got Grasp of Darkness, which is a solid card. Was it back in Battle for Zendikar? 2 mana, -4/-4. It's solid for cube too. If you like cards like these, they're good for cube. See how many people we got in here. We got 17 now. Got more people. Yeah, Prismatic Vista was the card I was talking about. I think it's obviously better because you do pay a life, but you get the land untapped. So I think it's time to go on over to MTGStocks. Let's head on over there. Let's see how this looks. Okay, so this is a nice big screen for you all. MTGStocks. I talked to the my TCGplayer affiliate a while ago, and if you want to use the affiliate link in the description, you can still do that. I was confusing it with my other affiliate from a while ago, Flipside Gaming, where you needed to enter in like a code. So you don't have to enter in a code for the affiliate link. You just have to use that link specifically when you go and make purchases on TCGplayer. And doing that, you support the channel. So if you want to support the channel, I don't know if there's a discount, but I do know that by using that link for your TCGplayer purchases, you will support the channel. But yeah, a lot of interesting stuff here. My buddy yesterday, MTG Myth, he brought up, I don't know if he brought it up on the stream, but Praetor's Grasp went up quite a bit. I don't know why that is. Again, I'm not an expert on Modern or all these other formats. I'm really just a fan of Commander. So Praetor's Grasp, I think, went up to like $10. But we'll get into that when we look at the actual stocks. If I can actually figure out how to use this. So interests, yeah, that's the page I want to use. Yeah, a lot of cards that change since last week is what we want, though. Child of Alara from Conflux, big time increase, 688% since last week, and a lot of that has to do with the rule change, where now if a commander dies, it can still die if it goes to the command zone. So you will get the Child of Alara trigger, and you can still recast it from your command zone. You don't have to find a way to bring it back from the graveyard like the old days. That was just a gigantic pain in the ass. So now it's close to $30 when last week it was around 3 or 4. Pretty big difference. Another big mover here is Furnace of Wrath. I don't really know why this is moving up. It's not a hard card to get a hold of. There's like a Dictate of the Twin Gods. I think there's another card that does something exactly like this, where if a source would deal damage to a creature or player, it's doubled instead. It's a very good card. It definitely gives red some teeth in Commander if you're going for burn. If you're playing with Torbran, am I thinking of the right guy? The dwarf, the red dwarf. Hungry Lynx. This one is pretty easy to understand. You have the dog cat commander option now. Looks pretty cool. Let me know what you guys think about some of these cards. Glad Fabled Passage is an M21. Never pulled one in Eldraine. Yeah, it was one of those cards that everybody wants it in Commander. It's a no-brainer. There's not a lot of guessing that needs to be done. By the way, thanks to everybody. It got 23, 24 people showing up here. Uh, Again, I started my channel again yesterday. Going to start doing more live streams. I'm going to try to do maybe some deck techs, maybe some top 10 videos. Yeah, Dean. Thanks for showing up. But yeah, something like this it's pretty easy to do. There's not a lot of pressure on people live streaming. It's not like the videos I did before where there's a lot of audio editing. Obviously, if I'm doing this live, there's going to be mistakes. I have to repeat myself sometimes. I mess up pronunciations, you know. But continuing on, we have Cabal Coffers. Now, this is specifically the one for Plane Chase. And I'm guessing that's because that's the one that had the most room to move. Because the original one from Torment, I think that was already pretty expensive. But this one went from $44 last week to $99. So that's a pretty big jump there, 127%. Now here we have the Praetor's Grasp, which, to be honest, I did not expect this card to go up that much. It's a really good card in Commander. I recommend it for everyone. If you just want to have fun, if you want to be more political, Praetor's Grasp it's a very underrated card. You can dismantle a lot of potential combos, and you don't have to play the card, because if you play the card, it could just go back to their opponent's graveyard. So sometimes it's just beneficial to leave that card in exile and never touch it. Like if your opponent has what's a Krark Clan Ironworks, but you're not playing an artifact deck, there's no reason for you to play it, but there might be a reason for you to permanently exile that, keep that away from your opponents. So it has many purposes. And I talked to my buddy yesterday about Gonti. Gonti is the perfect commander for a card like this, if you like that synergy of just stealing your opponent's stuff. So this went up, it was $5 last week, so it was, decent price. It just went up to 10. Coca Show, another obvious reason why this went up. It's the same thing as Child of Alara. Very powerful death trigger, and it has the potential to be your commander. If you don't know what he does, when he dies, which the old wording was, again, if it's put into a graveyard from play. So whenever an older creature has this text, it pretty much is synonymous with dies. So whenever it dies, each opponent loses 5 life, and you gain life equal to the life lost this way. In Commander, that's pretty powerful. 1v1, it's not so much. If you have 3 opponents, you're gaining 15 life pretty easily. And if you have a way to combo, or not just combo, but if you can repeatedly kill off your own Kokosho, bring it back, you're gonna gain a bunch of life. You're gonna drain a bunch of life. I don't know how wouldn't say it necessarily makes Kokosho a fantastic commander if your Kokosho has to go back to the command zone, though. That's the only thing I'm a little iffy on. I think a lot of the cool combos and a lot of the ways to abuse Kokosho involve the graveyard. So while it's cool to have Kokosho be a commander where you can constantly, or not constantly, but where you could easily just recast it from your command zone and you don't need to recur it, that's I don't know, it's a different angle. Bear Umbra also went up. I don't know why, but there might be a combo involved. 9 times out of 10 when a card goes up, there's some kind of new combo. I don't know if you guys know anything about that. The FNM promo of Coffers isn't too much pricier than the other printings. That's right. Promos are kind of weird. And I don't know. Sometimes with these FNM promos, they don't really get a lot of movement because a lot of people, they like the original foils, or they just like the the older aesthetic to Magic cards. It's hard to explain. I mean, you could be here all day just trying to guess why people like certain cards. Is there a red commander that benefits from Furnace of Wrath or something like a new one? Um, I mentioned Torbrand. I don't know if again like that was from Throne of Eldraine, so I don't know if there's anything new. It's a good card, but I don't know why. I think Praetor's Grasp was recently recommended on another Commander YouTube channel. Yeah, that happens a lot. I do remember that. I think you have Saffron Olive. You have a lot of people, and their voice carries weight in the community. They can really influence a lot of buying. A lot of people. They can really have an impact on the Magic the Gathering economy. So I'm not surprised at all if someone like him mentioned Praetor's Grasp, or really anybody else mentioned it. It's good in the new Teamer Commander. I'm guessing we're talking about Furnace of Wrath again. Yeah, again, like I have to do my homework a bit more on these newer sets because I still don't know a lot of them. Elenda the Dusk Rose. This is one that I saw earlier, and I am happy because I think a lot of people were disappointed. It's a pretty cool ability. When she dies, you get a bunch of tokens. Um, but she's actually pretty pricey last week. So $17. That's actually a lot more than I thought where she was before. I thought she would be like a $5 card. She's at 30 exactly. So she went up 69%. And we have a random Arabian Nights reserve list card, Dancing Scimitar. And this is one of those cards. It's just, if it's reserve list, you get a lot of buyouts, and there could be any reason why something like this is going up. Here's another Furnace of Wrath. This is the 9th edition one. And the 9th edition is $5, which is about half of where the Duels of the Planeswalkers version is. I don't know if that printing is a bit more rare. It must be. Cephalid Coliseum from Odyssey. That went up a few dollars. Might be something related to a newer commander. We have the Coca Show from Iconic Masters. One of my pet peeves, I don't know what it is. I've never been a big fan of back in 2014 when they changed the border and they have the little holographic thing at the bottom. I've never been a big fan of it. I've never been a big fan of them changing the other part of the border where the artist name and you had like a little paintbrush. I always liked that. Now it kind of looked, I don't know. It's just not there was an aesthetic to the old border, and I liked it a lot more. Felwar Stone from the Commander Precon, and that's the first Commander Precon back in 2011. So that's another trend too with a lot of these cards. It's not so much that they're harder to get, uh, but it's a specific Commander product. So there's like a printing, and people look for that printing. The thing about this Felwar Stone, I guess it's for the older border too. People go for like the earlier printings of it. Don't ask me why. It's really weird. I have the Felwar Stone from like 8th edition or 9th edition that's white bordered, and it was the first version of this artwork, which is really beautiful artwork. The original Felwar Stone came out in God, what's it called? The Dark. Came out in the dark, and it looked ugly. Aggravated Assault from Onslaught went up about $6. We have another Commander card here. Daxos the Returned is now an $8 card. I don't know if there's anything important about Daxos. Not really the best commander from Commander 2015. Definitely one worth playing if you like enchantments, though. Maybe gained some traction because of the Theros Beyond Death set. But other than that, yeah, I don't really know what could be up with Daxos. You know, Seshiro the Anointed went up about $5. Wheel and Deals, always a good card in Nekasar. That went up. It's now up to $10, $11. We have some other commander cards here. We have Alms Collector. This went from being a $11 card to $15 now. Really good hate card too. A lot of hate cards. Definitely, they're worth watching on the market because they're very situational and they don't always work out. But when they do, people really jump on them. Now, this is really weird too. This is a pretty easy card to get. It's an uncommon, but it's specifically from Commander 2017. It's Teamer Sabretooth. It's a cat. Now, there are some combos you could pull off with it, but I think ultimately it's probably just around $4 or $5 now for this uncommon version of Commander 2017 because it's from Commander 2017. So not really a lot of guess. But yeah, a lot of these other cards, they're going up a little bit, but it's nothing really noticeable. I think I might end the video here soon. We've been streaming for almost 30 minutes. I should probably just acknowledge the chat. So what we have going on here? Yes, Bear Umbra. Bear Umbra did go up. Elenda Rise is probably from the new Commander rule about Commander Death triggers. Yes, we've been talking about that yesterday too. Feels like it's been multiple days, but it's just been yesterday and today that I've been making these live streams. The new border is largely an anti-counterfeiting measure rather than one that is supposed to make the card that much more visually appealing. I can understand that because it's probably a pain in the ass to have to fake that little holographic thing. I don't know. I've never been like I've never really been a huge stickler for versions, but until that newer border in 2014, I don't know. I can deal with the whiteboard stuff from like 7th edition. I know a lot of people don't like that. There's some people that don't like the white borders, period. But at least it has you still have the artist name and that little paintbrush. To me, it's pretty cool. Yeah, Teamer Sabretooth is a really good card in decks like Chulane. Yeah, absolutely. You have a lot of good creatures that bounce themselves back too. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. I think what is it called? White Mane Lion, little 2-drop creature that can bounce itself back. It's kind of funny because before people would just think, why would you do that? You just wasted 2 mana, but it does serve a purpose. You're able to get triggers. Sabretooth is a great card. Bringing a creature back in hand again and again is nice. Yeah, I get you. Very good card. Alrighty, y'all. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. We are just about at the 30-minute mark. I want to thank all of you for stopping by. We got almost 30 people in here, which is outstanding. It's a little bit more than we had yesterday. And as a bit of news, I want to let you guys know that I'm going to try to live stream some actual gameplay. I mentioned it before that I'd been playing with my friend on Zoom. What we're going to try to do, it's the same guy from yesterday, MTG Myth. What I'm going to try to do is get into contact with him, and I have to use my phone. We're going to use our phones to record the playmats, but we should be able to live stream an actual 1v1 game. We're going to try to keep it at 1v1, and we might even play some competitive EDH. Because that's the one thing I do have. If I keep one deck together and I sell all my other stuff, I at least want to have one competitive EDH deck. So if we ever do that, I think you guys will like it. But anyway, you guys take it easy. You have a good one. Alrighty, guys. See you later.